Well, the two things that come to mind first are obviously attend some of the matches whenever you can. I went to nationals in St. Louis twice. I went to nationals in Omaha. I'm going to nationals in Philadelphia. I've seen the team wrestle in Binghamton. I've seen the team wrestle in Michigan. I'm going to see them wrestle Columbia in New York City on January 8th, Saturday, January 8th at Columbia University at 2 o'clock. So
that's the alumni match, right?
That's the alumni event, and we expect a big turnout for that. I wouldn't be surprised if there weren't 50 or 60 alumni at that match, and I wouldn't be surprised. At nationals, we usually have 30, 40 people. I wouldn't be surprised if we have, in excess of 100 people at nationals this year, with it being sort of in our backyard in Philadelphia. The second thing would be, to support the team and to support the club financially. If we're going to do what Tommy Ryan did at Hofstra, and take a team into the top 25 and then into the top 15 and then into the top 10 incrementally and progressively through the work in the room and the recruiting and getting the right kids in, we're going to need support from the alumni, and we have a donor base that is very, very loyal, but we definitely need to expand it. We need to add another 50 people immediately to the roles, and if we can get our list up to our loyal annual supporters of the program, if we can get that up to several hundred people, that would be great, because then we'd have all the money that we need. There would be no excuses, quite frankly, from a financial standpoint. We'd have all the resources that we need, and we wouldn't have to rely as heavily on some other donors who, I'm not discouraging them from giving the money and maintaining it at that level. But the more you have on the grassroots level, the less people at the top of the pyramid have to give. So if you have if you can give $25, $50, $100, that's great. But if you can give $250, $350 every year as part of your list of annual giving to whatever causes and organizations you support, that would be great if you could somehow work us onto the list. Like I said, it could be as little as, we have one guy who gives $10, but obviously we would like our baseline to be like $50. But anything between $50 and $500. But we don't just want the one-time check. We want ongoing, long-term support for the program. So a lot of people that come in, they say, I'm willing to have you cut that check in half if you tell me we're going to get that check from you for at least a minimum of the next 5 to 10 years. So if you're going to give $1,000, give $250, but give it for 10 years or something. And the usual response is, that's very kind of you, but here's the check for $500, or here's the check for $1,000, and I'm good every year. I'm good for as long as you need me. And we need that, especially in the current economic climate. We need as much support as we can get. So I thank you for those who have given, and I really, really look forward to working together with the athletic department and the coaching staff and the guys who we have in the core of our donor list. To work to have some others of you to come and join us and enter the circle of friends that are supporting Binghamton Wrestling.
2 more questions. Why do you feel? I know you've been touching on it, throughout the interview, but why is it so important that the alumni give? What benefits does their checks improve here?
Well, there's a lot of things that are critical to taking a program to the next level, and we have multiple levels and multiple hurdles that we have to clear before we get to work a consistent, respected, perennial powerhouse in Division I wrestling. We hope that we're going to get there someday. We hope we're going to get there soon. It's all part of the long-term plan and strategy. But part of the money, that's what the money goes to, whether it's going to the university earmarked for wrestling or whether it's going to the Bearcats Wrestling Club. That money supplies a menu of opportunities and flexibility for the coaching staff here. Number one, first and foremost, scholarships. Number two, it can supply, equipment. Number 3, it can provide, transportation opportunities. For example, they'll go to a match and turn around and come back the next day, that night after the match, and leave and get home at 3 o'clock in the morning. And whereas you can, put them in a hotel overnight, or they take a bus to an event, that they're on a bus for 15 hours and they get off and they're wiped out, and you could put them on a plane, for 20, 25 minutes and get them there quickly. That it's that kind of, I wouldn't say luxury, but that's the kind of stuff that you want, that other programs have, to keep the kids fresh, to keep them focused, and to do everything to create an environment that's as conducive as possible to them performing at the highest level possible. Another important thing is off-season training. Huge component of this is off-season training. We send kids to the Olympic Training Center every summer in Colorado Springs. We have kids wrestling that are redshirting, that are wrestling in open tournaments. We send a group of kids out to the Midlands every year. And we have to come up with the money. Some years we can't send anybody. We wanted to send 3. Some years we send 2 or 3. We could have sent 5. We had to prioritize and determine, what makes best sense for the program. And we want to have a little bit more flexibility in that way. So if we can, the more kids wrestle at the Olympic Training Center, the more kids wrestle in tournaments like the Midlands, and the more they're not going to get any better by going into a wrestling room or going into a dual meet and beating somebody up. What we need is to send them to the Midlands and get them beat up, because the only way they're going to get better is if they're going up against the best of the best, And so that's some of the ways. I mean, travel, equipment, off-season training, and most importantly, scholarships.
All right, last question. What is your favorite memory of being a wrestler here at Binghamton University?
It wasn't very pleasant, actually. That dummy that they throw it, the Greco-Roman throwing dummy?
Yeah.
Do you remember the name that's on the chest of it? Have you ever seen it? It says Bill. The company manufactures it with the name Bill on it. I used to work for that company. I like to tell everybody that they named it after me because I got thrown around so much. But it's actually, they put Bill on it because the chairman of the company who recently retired last year, Bill Farrell, I think they put that on that Greco dummy because of Bill Farrell. But I worked there when I was 15 years old in 10th grade for all of those guys, Nick Gallo and Neil Duncan and Bill Farrell and Chick Morano and all those guys. And I remember oftentimes Andy Saris, one of the coaches here, he gave me my pilot's license on numerous occasions. I mean, I have the imprint of my Asics on the ceiling of the wrestling room a couple times at the War Memorial in Syracuse at the Empire State Games because of Andy Saris. But I wrestled between Keith Caballero, who was a multi-Suniac champion and an All-American, and Tom Pilari, who was a national champion. Mm-hmm. Keith wrestled 58, Pilari wrestled 77, and I sort of was their workout partner that attempted to try and get them to break a sweat on a daily basis and attempted to try and, push them a little bit in the room. And that's sort of what one of my roles were on the team. And then, of course, fill in if there was a spot and they needed somebody. I went out there and fought my hardest and, tried my hardest. I probably won, I don't know. Ask Gerber, you'd have to check the record. I'd like to say I won as many as I lost. Maybe I won a few more than I lost, but I lost a lot nonetheless. So.
Any closing remarks that you have?
Nothing. Just I'm really excited to be here this weekend for commencement, and I'm excited for Alumni Weekend at Columbia in New York City. I'm very, very excited for Philadelphia and for Nationals. We're looking for everybody to turn out for the alumni match on January 8th at Columbia in the city on campus at Columbia University. And we really want to have a strong showing with Nationals being in our backyard in Philadelphia. And I couldn't be any prouder with the progress with the program, and more excited for how just not the potential for what could be, but already what's been achieved. I mean, it's just it's really impressive. I know everybody's really proud and highly anticipating what's coming for in the next couple of seasons.
All right, perfect. Thanks, man.